right. Hello, everyone. So we are doing this orientation online. Normally, we would invite all of our high school students and all of your families to campus to see the campus and see our classrooms and learn more about your individual programs. But obviously, things are a little bit different right now. And so our orientation is also going to be a little bit different. So bear with us, give us a little bit of grace, and we'll try to do a really good job for you guys. So here in just a minute, Tyler is going to start presenting the slideshow. And then we are actually going to take some time to go through and walk through each individual slide with you and share some really important information just about what it's like to be a student at Pickens and some of the overall expectations that we have. And then at the very end, Pam will share some more information about how to submit questions, whether you email us directly or through the form that you are viewing this presentation. So first, we're going to take just a minute and introduce ourselves. Collectively, we are Career Services, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. My name is Janice Rosa. I'm one of the career advisors, and our role is really to do a lot of this in terms of sharing information with high school students, making sure that you're a good fit for us, we're a good fit for you, and making sure that you feel supported throughout your time at Pickens.
Hi, I'm Pam Rao. I am the other career advisor at Pickens. And just to piggyback on what Janice said, in addition to doing a lot of this, communicating with students, once you're on campus, we're also a resource for you. So if you have questions about your program, questions about anything, then we are there to help you and support you so you'll be successful. This year, we'll probably do a lot of that through email, but nonetheless, we look forward to having you with us this fall.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tyler Cross, and I'm a career placement coordinator. So I do work with Career Services, but I have a little bit different of a support role. My support role is really to help bring partners into the school who will eventually employ you all, and then also just to help you all get employed. So I do a lot of what Janice and Pam do, but then subsequently I help you all get employment as well.
All right. So Tyler, if you want to pull up the presentation, we will take some time and go through each little bit.
Can you guys see the presentation?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I can see it.
Perfect. All right.
All right. So welcome to our orientation. And really, we want to thank you all so much for being adaptive and flexible to this way of doing orientation. It does show your commitment and your dedication to attending Pickens and being successful there. So thank you, your family, your guardians, whoever's watching this and doing this with you. And grab some pen and paper. You might want to take some notes along the way. And Tyler's going to launch us into the next slide.
Okay, so our first slide, what is Pickens Technical College? Our mission is to prepare students, both high school and adult learners, to fill high-demand jobs by providing unsurpassed, equitable career and technical education through 1- and 2-year programs in high-demand industries. Next year, you're all going to play an important role in helping us create the workforce, create the workforce of the future by attending your program of choice here at Pickens. So really, it's just once again talking about how we're a technical college and how that's a little bit different than a community college or a university, in that our job is really to help you get into a high-demand career field pretty quickly. And despite everything happening with COVID, majority of our programs are still in demand. So, getting into one of our programs is definitely going to help you kind of secure that future for yourself.
Great. So here is just a little bit more information about Career Services. We wanted you to be able to see who we are. Now you can kind of see double time who we are. But really, we help you day to day. We work very closely with all of your counselors, both in APS and all of the outlying districts. And again, just to really make sure that you feel supported. In addition to Career Services, we also have additional support services. Here's just a couple of our members of our diverse learning team. So if the glasses there is Becky Albrecht, and then next to her, the big smile is Kelly Dow. And primarily their role is to is to help students and support your learning. Specifically, they help students who have specific IEP needs that need to be met, or maybe just need a little bit of accommodations to kind of help process and help with the learning. And then they can also help to support language learners. You'll see them often in and out of your classes. I believe we are hiring one more diverse learner to be a part of that team. And so that person is yet to be determined. In addition to the diverse learning team, we have a couple other staff members that we want to introduce you to. So the one on the top there is Kim Rasmussen. She's our social worker. And all of us, except for Lorraine, the school nurse there, the majority of the support staff that we are introducing to you, we all have offices in building B, which is going to be right behind the registration office when we are on campus again. And so we're all kind of in the heart of the school in terms of all the support services for you. So Kim's primary role is to provide mental health and wellness support for students. And so sometimes we talk about this in a way that's, if you feel like there's something just getting in the way of you being successful, whether it's stress or kind of external factors that are going on that you feel like you need to talk to somebody about, just don't hesitate. You can come find one of us and we can direct you to Kim, and she's very responsive. And she can also connect students with social emotional resources, whether that's, counseling or finding financial aid support, all types of different resources. And then, of course, we also, just like you guys in high school, we also have a school nurse. Her name is Lorraine Martinez. She can be found in Building A, which is kind of the big main building right when you pull into Pickens. And she does everything that a regular school nurse does. And she also will support 504s, which is just any type of additional support that students need because of some sort of medical condition.
Okay, so the next section here, we're going to talk a little bit about student life as it pertains to you all as high school students, and then, doing concurrent enrollment at Pickens. The first piece of information we like to share is kind of just the value of being a Pickens student. And when I'm talking about value here, I'm talking about monetary or money value. And really what it is, attending Pickens while in high school allows students the opportunity to develop skills while saving you and your family money. Ultimately, that really kind of ranges. So post-secondary students pay anywhere from $4,000 to $11,000 for our programs, just kind of depending on the program that they're in. High school students have their tuition paid for by the district, which saves them thousands of dollars. So really what I want you guys to understand is just how much of a value it is for you to be here. That way you can take your education and your time here seriously, and know that you're kind of getting, a privilege in saving thousands of dollars on your education. And then just so you guys know, some of you are in 1-year programs, some of you are in 2-year programs. That definitely is why you see such a big, range in how much it costs to attend our school. But also just pay careful attention to that, because if you're a senior and you're in a 2-year program, you're going to want to make sure you have made the proper accommodations to come back the following year after you've graduated high school. So learning starts in the classroom to develop a foundational knowledge here. And all of that foundational knowledge really leads you to valuable hands-on skill application. So really what that means is at Pickens, we shoot to have a lot of hands-on learning experiences in the classroom. And we're going to get into attendance and things like that a little bit later. But just understanding once again that our structure is a little different. So in high school, typically, you're either working collaboratively with a small group in your class, or you're working with a large group, or you're working independently, listening to lectures, writing essays to prove your knowledge, taking assessments. It's a little bit different at Pickens. So a lot of our learning is done hands-on, and a lot of our assessments are hands-on. So it's just really important that you're there all the time, you're willing to learn, because a lot of those times when you miss class, it's really hard for you to be able to make up something, especially if it was a hands-on experience. So students attend Pickens for various reasons, of course. The number one reason, though, is to learn industry skills and earn industry-based certifications while in high school. So it's important to know that you're not necessarily getting a degree from Pickens, but you're earning an industry-based certification, which is going to prepare you to work in the field that you are interested in, hence why you're attending our school. And students are trained so that they can go directly into the workforce after high school. So basically, we're setting you up to start your career as soon as you finish your Pickens program and your high school education. You'll be able to work in the industry while you're attending college, of course. So that's always nice to earn a little bit more money if traditional college is in your plans. But if it's not, obviously, then you can work in a field and start kind of earning those steps into making it a career. And then also get an edge in an industry that has tuition reimbursement or plans to further their employees' education. So out there, you'll find out that quite a few different companies have tuition reimbursement opportunities for their employees. So what that means for you is if you decide maybe you want to go to college and further your education, you have the opportunity to do that because you have that foundation piece to get you into the door.
Oh, sorry, this is me. So we're going to elaborate and continue to talk about what it means, what that value of being a high school student is, and specifically focusing on some of the logistics and expectations that we have for our students. So Tyler started talking a little bit about the value in terms of the monetary value, and so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. There is going to be some cost for all students, regardless of the program. And it is going to look a little bit different for APS students than it will for outlying students. So we're going to talk just a little bit about that. For APS students, you will be able to check out your textbooks from the warehouse, just like you would from a library. And as I'm saying that, I kind of slow down because I don't know exactly what that's going to look like in the fall. And we'll kind of talk about more updates. But in general, you're able to check them out of the warehouse like you would at a library. And the tuition is actually covered by the district. And this piece will actually be the same for APS and for outlying students, that the tuition piece itself is covered by the district, but what the student is responsible for will be a little bit different. For all students, we'll have some level of financial responsibility. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but this could be anywhere from $10 for a shop shirt up to $800. We do have pharmacy tech that has a little bit more extensive costs that we'll talk about more later. But the general financial responsibility, what students are paying for, covers the cost of your professional supplies. So that could be things like your cosmetology kit or a welding kit. You'd also have to pay for anything that is a consumable, which means something that you are consuming or using and you're not able to kind of give back or isn't going to stay at Pickens. So that could be things like gas fees, testing fees, like I said, shop shirts, workbooks that you're actually writing in. So you will have those costs that you're going to be responsible for. For the contracting students, and I know this is a little bit vague, but it's going to be really important that you and your family are working very closely with your district and with your counselors in the school and your admin to have a really clear understanding of what you are financially responsible for. Most students that are outlying students do pay a $500 program charge, but again, that could vary based on the district that you're in or the school that you go to. One important piece that I do want to emphasize, in addition to making sure you understand what you're financially responsible for, is that all of the costs, all of the financial responsibility that you're responsible for does need to be paid off within the first semester before you are able to register for second semester. The one that's going to be a little bit different is going to be for the pharmacy technician. We'll talk more about that later, but that big charge that you're going to be responsible for won't be put on your in your account until second semester, so you have some time to kind of save up for that. So we'll talk more about that too. Okay, attendance. You're going to hear us mention, you've already heard us mention attendance once, you're going to hear us mention it multiple times. Regardless of what happens, regardless of what the fall is going to look like, whether it's face-to-face or if there's a remote learning aspect to it, the first day of school is going to be Tuesday, August 11th, 2020. And that's for everybody. So this is going to be when Pickens starts classes, regardless of what school you go to, outlying, contracting, charter, it doesn't matter. Our Pickens courses will start on August 11th. And so every single student who has the opportunity to attend our programs must be in attendance in whatever way that looks like on August 11th, and that's really important. Within the first few days, we will be keeping real close track of attendance, and if you are absent on the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th, and just no communication and you're a no-show, we will automatically drop you, because for the majority of our programs, there is a lengthy wait list to get into them. And so if somebody just hasn't showed up, then we will drop them and we will contact the next person on the wait list so that they have that opportunity. And again, at the bottom there, it's just important for you to know that, what the fall is going to look like. We're not positive, but the expectations are going to be the same in terms of attendance and taking the courses seriously. And know that you will be continuing to receive emails and phone calls from Pickens and from the district with more updated information as we move forward. More on attendance. It's important for you to be in class on time every day. So if we do have a remote learning aspect, you are expected to be on time. If that means logging into your class or being in the physical classroom, whatever that's going to look like, that's the expectation that we have for you, and that's really important. We also expect that our college classes take priority over your high school events. Now, I know that your high school events are very important. There's pep sessions and there's, team meetings and soccer tournaments and football games. I understand how important those things are, but we really mean it when we say that our college courses do need to be prioritized. We will not allow students to leave early for sporting events or school activities. And so it's all the more reason why it's so important to make sure that you've communicated your involvement in these activities with your counselor to make sure that Pickens does fit into your schedule, and that you can live up to those expectations. Our classes do run Monday through Friday. I know that there are some schools in APS that have kind of a slightly different schedule. If you're a zone school, maybe you get off early on Friday. For some of our outlying schools, I know that some of you have 4-day school weeks. We do not have a 4-day school week. We have a 5-day school week. And so regardless of what school, what high school you attend, you are expected to be in attendance in your Pickens program Monday through Friday. So that's really important. All right, grades. So our grading system is going to be a little bit different. Because we are a college, all of our students receive semester grades. And so what that's going to look like is going to be a little bit different. You're not going to necessarily see a quarterly grade. And so in order to be successful in that program and in order to receive your Pickens Certificate of Completion, you have to receive a C or higher in each of your individual courses that you're enrolled in throughout each semester. So this is a little bit confusing, so we do have a little example here. So for example, in small business management program, you might be enrolled in these 4 classes throughout first semester. In order to be successful and receive your certificate of completion, and in order to receive your high school credit, you would need to receive and earn a C in each of those individual courses in order to not only receive your certificate of completion, but also in order to move on with the program. And so that's going to be really important, and all the more reason why attendance and being there every day is so important so that you can be successful. So what do we, in addition to all of these pieces, what else do we expect from our Pickens students? We expect you to wear your Pickens ID every day when you're on campus. Once we do get on campus, we will have time set aside where photos will be taken, IDs will be distributed. And once they have been distributed, it is really important that you wear your ID every day, just like I'm sure you're expected to do in high school. It's also important that our Pickens students are professional and workforce ready. And so that simply means being respectful, being on time, and being willing to learn. And just being a good student and knowing what the great opportunity you have to be here. And then lastly, it's also incredibly important that all of our Pickens students communicate with their instructors on multiple levels. So this means talking to your instructors and having a clear understanding of how they want to be communicated with. Do they want to receive a text from you if they have questions? Would they prefer a phone call or an email? So having a clear understanding and taking the initiative to reach out to your instructors to have a better understanding of how they want to be communicated and how they communicate with you is going to be really important. You also want to make sure that you communicate clearly with your instructors if you need more help. If you have questions or you need clarification, again, reach out to your instructors. Everybody on campus is here to make sure that you're successful, and so just make sure that you reach out to all of your teachers. If you're absent, again, we know that life happens and that there's emergencies, but if you know that you're going to be absent, please reach out to your instructors, let them know. We also have an attendance line that we'll share with you and send out in an email, both in English and Spanish. And so just like your high school, in order to let your high school know that you're going to be absent, it's also important that you reach out directly to Pickens to let us know, because we are not necessarily in communication with each other. It's two separate systems. And also reach out to your counselors about what your career goals are. Your instructors are going to be your one of your closest and one of your best supports in figuring out that next step in your career and discussing your career trajectory. And they have all of our instructors come directly from the field that they teach in. And so they have some really amazing connections to help you go in the direction that you want to go in.
Okay, what we want to do now is give you some more specific information about your financial responsibilities as a student at Pickens, so you can start now to plan for the fall. So please know that all students at Pickens will have some financial responsibility for your coursework, depending on the program that you're in. So if you are in Aurora Public Schools, that's going to look a little bit different than if you're an outlying student, but we have some more examples to share with you here. So students are responsible for the cost of your kit or some of your work tools and professional supplies. Please know you are responsible for the purchase of those kits, as well as any materials that need to be replenished or restocked as the year goes on. Those costs are yours. And just to give you a general idea, kits cost anywhere from about $300 up to $700. Also, in our medical programs, you might be required to get vaccines or take exams that are outside of our curriculum. There could also be some additional supplies that you need to have. And we estimate those costs to be anywhere from about $50 to $200. But again, it's program specific and it depends. And if you have questions about your specific program, we'll give you information so you can reach out and connect with us, and we'll be happy to share that with you. If you are registered for the pharmacy technician program, you are responsible for your clinical fee. And as you can see, that is a big number. And as Janice mentioned earlier, that will be put on your bill for the second semester, because that's when you go out and do that clinical experience. But you can start saving for that now. And we are in the process of trying to figure out if you could actually do a payment plan starting in August to help pay for that. So we will follow up with you on that. Otherwise, students can expect expenses anywhere from $10 up to $180, again, depending on the program that you're in. So what we just want you to be the most aware of is you are going to have to pay some of the costs for your program. So please know that, please plan for it. Janice had mentioned this earlier, but in order for you to continue in your program into the second semester, whatever expenses you have as a student in the first semester need to be paid in full by December so that you can come back and continue in the spring. We do offer payment plans, so you can work with our cashier's office, put down a deposit of $100, which goes towards whatever your cost is, and then you can make monthly payments to help pay down those costs over the course of the first semester. And the payment plans will begin in August of 2020. So if you are going to be a senior this year and you are enrolled in one of the programs listed here that is 2 years in length, we want you to know that your school district will take care of your tuition and potentially some fees for the first year, but for you to return the second year, you will be financially responsible for all of your costs. So we will start working with you, and by we mean your instructor, career services. We'll start working with you in the fall, and then again when we come back for second semester to talk to you about what that process looks like. We can help connect you with resources and scholarships to apply for, to help you be able to better afford your second year at Pickens. Some of the programs, you have to complete the second year in order to get your certificate of completion. So we, again, sit down with you and work with you and try to give you every support that we can so that you can plan for it and be ready for your second year at Pickens. Also, we encourage you to reach out back at your high school to counselors, career centers, any resource that you may have available to you at your home school that can help you find monies to pay for Pickens programs for that second year.
For example, like applying for FAFSA and things like that, which could help you offset some of your costs for your second year.
Exactly. Thank you, Tyler. Good point. So, as we all know, we are in the middle of this crazy COVID-19 situation. So it's going to be more important than ever that we can get in touch with you if there are changes or if there are modifications to any programming. We're hoping, fingers are crossed, that we're good to go for August, but at this point we just don't know. So please make sure that we at Pickens have an accurate set of contact information for you. So that is an email, your school email, as well as if there's another email that you use or check more often, please make sure we have them both. And please make sure that we have a cell phone number, a home phone number, whatever you respond to, and we'll answer, because I think there's going to be a lot of information that we are going to need to push out to you between now and the time programs and classes begin in August. So we want to make sure that you get everything that you need so that you are ready. And I think that'll help make the beginning of the school year smoother for you as well. Of course, as always, our first priority is you and your safety. So we are working really hard to make next year fun and exciting. We hope it will be full on, come back to school, but in case it's not, we need to be able to make sure we can update you with any potential changes that are coming your way.
And just so you guys know, when we talk about accurate contact information, we're pulling your information from the application that you filled out. So if you're a non-APS student in particular, that's the only contact information we have for you all. So we really ask that you make sure that you gave us updated information, and if for some reason you didn't, that you send one of us an email with that correct information. Our contact information will be provided in an upcoming slide. But if you're an APS student, we do have your contact information through the district. However, if there have been changes, just make sure that you're kind of updating that information with the district as well, so that we can keep you notified.
And one last favor that we're going to ask, if you are not super great about clearing out your voicemail, please do that, because we call, we send messages out, and then we get these messages that the voicemail is full, and then we can't leave you a message. So please check your voicemails and clear them out. So the last thing that we want to ask you all to do is sign up for a Remind account. This allows us to communicate with you through texting. So please follow these instructions and sign up for a Remind account. Okay, so text at Pickens21 to the number 81010. And then please use your first and last name when you sign up, so we can keep track of you and we know who we're communicating with. And then you'll receive a welcome text from Remind. And then you will also, as time goes on, receive email or text, from us if there's specific information that we need to get to you, or it just might be a hi, we're looking forward to classes starting next week, but We're just trying to think of every way that we can to communicate with you and be able to reach you so that we can get you important information that you're going to need. So finally, this is a lot of information that we shared with you. So if you have questions, if you have them now, if you have them down the road, here are our email addresses. Please feel free to reach out to us, email us whatever questions you or your family have, and we will do our best to get back to you just as soon as we can. We appreciate, again, your flexibility with our modified orientation style. We really are looking forward to being able to see you in person, and hopefully that will be sooner rather than later.
Thanks everybody for watching the video, and please let us know if you have any questions.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family, and we hope to see you all soon.
Bye.